Daniel buys a rental property. Ryan puts the same amount of money into gold. Both walk away convinced they made the safest financial move possible. Both are wrong, because one of them is about to watch cash disappear every month, while the other is about to learn what happens when an investment never pays you anything on its own. When you track both choices over the next 20 years, they each discover a painful truth. Let's make the comparison fair. Daniel and Ryan each start with $55,000 in savings. Same age, same city, same salary, $57,000 a year. The only difference is where that money goes. Daniel uses his savings as a 20% down payment on a $275,000 rental home, a basic 3-bedroom in a decent area. He signs a 30-year mortgage at 6.9% interest. His monthly payment comes to around $1,470. He rents the property for $1,950 a month. On the surface, that looks like nearly $480 in monthly profit before any other costs appear. Daniel feels like he found a cheat code. Ryan takes his $55,000 and buys gold. Bars, coins, ETF, it doesn't matter. He puts everything into the asset people trust during uncertain times. No debt, no tenants, no repairs, no phone calls in the middle of the night. He checks the price now and then and does nothing else. Same money, same starting point, two completely different paths. In the beginning, Ryan looks like the winner. Gold starts climbing fast, inflation fears rise, markets get nervous, central banks increase reserves. In one strong year, gold jumps 22 to 30%. Ryan's $55,000 becomes $68,000 or more. He didn't manage anything. He didn't fix anything. He didn't deal with contractors. He simply watched his money grow. Meanwhile, Daniel is living a very different story. His first tenant damages the appliances and leaves early. It takes over a month to replace them. That means weeks of zero rent. But the mortgage still has to be paid, so do taxes, insurance, and the unexpected $3,500 plumbing repair that arrives in year one. Once the real expenses are counted, mortgage, taxes, maintenance, vacancy, insurance, Daniel's first year cash flow is negative. That easy monthly profit never existed. He's losing money every month. Ryan's investment keeps rising, and he starts believing Daniel made the wrong call. But here's what nobody tells Ryan. Gold doesn't produce income. No rent, no dividends, no interest, no yield. It simply exists. The only way he profits is if someone later pays more for it. If the price stalls, his money sits there doing nothing while inflation quietly reduces its buying power. And that isn't just theory. Gold has gone through long stretches where it barely moved. Some buyers entered near highs and waited years, sometimes decades, just to break even. Gold can preserve wealth in the right moment, but it doesn't reliably create wealth by itself. Then there's taxes. Depending on the country, gains from gold can be treated less favorably than stocks or property. So even when prices rise, more of the upside can disappear. Over long periods, gold has delivered respectable returns, but productive assets have often done better. Gold's explosive rallies are memorable. Its stagnant years are easier to forget. Now let's be fair to Daniel, too. That projected monthly profit was fantasy from day one. Here's what ownership really costs. Mortgage, $1,470, property tax, around $260, insurance, $110, maintenance reserve on a $275,000 house, around $230 to $450 per month averaged over time, vacancy costs, inevitable. If he hires a manager, add another portion of the rent. Suddenly, his total monthly costs can land between $2,050 and $2,450 against $1,950 in rent. In the early years, he's either breaking even or losing money. And that's before major surprises show up. And major surprises always show up. Roof repairs can cost thousands. HVAC systems fail. A tenant may stop paying and force a long eviction process. If Daniel manages everything himself, he saves fees but sacrifices evenings, weekends, and peace of mind. When you divide his profit by the time spent, the hourly return may be embarrassing. Real estate isn't passive income. It's responsibility with a price tag. But after a few years, something starts to change. Gold's early momentum slows down. That's common. Gold often surges during fear, then drifts once panic fades. Ryan still owns something valuable, but it isn't paying him along the way. Inflation keeps working in reverse. Daniel, meanwhile, keeps pushing through the messy part. Rents tend to rise over time. By year 5, he may be collecting $2,200 a month. By year 8, maybe $2,450. But his mortgage payment remains fixed. Every year, that debt feels smaller, while rent grows larger. At the same time, more of each payment starts reducing the loan balance instead of mostly covering interest. His ownership stake increases faster. The property value may rise too. At a moderate appreciation rate, his $275,000 house could be worth around $325,000 after several years and well over $385,000 later. The repairs haven't vanished. Tenants still come and go. Problems still happen. But the numbers are no longer working against him. Cash flow turns positive. Net worth begins rising. Ryan is still doing nothing, which was the appeal, but doing nothing is also what the asset returns to him. Now step back and look at the full 20-year result. Daniel's property may be worth roughly $525,000. His remaining mortgage balance could be around $142,000. That leaves approximately $383,000 in equity from a purchase that began with $55,000 down. Then add years of positive cash flow once the property matured. Even after repairs, vacancies, taxes, and maintenance, cumulative rental profit could land somewhere between $70,000 and $115,000. Total position around $450,000 to $500,000 between equity and income. Now Ryan, if gold grows near its long-term average over 2 decades, his $55,000 could become around $245,000. Not bad, but every dollar came from price appreciation alone. No income stream, no rent checks, no compounding cash flow. After taxes, the final amount may be lower than expected. Daniel ends with far more wealth. Ryan ends with less. And the reason the gap becomes so large comes down to one word: leverage. Daniel used $55,000 to control a $275,000 asset. Every percentage gain applied to the full property value. Ryan used $55,000 to buy $55,000 worth of gold. No multiplier, no borrowed advantage. When an asset rises over decades, leverage can dramatically magnify the result. That's what helped Daniel pull ahead. But if we only attack gold, we'd be ignoring reality. Real estate has serious weaknesses too. It's illiquid. If Daniel needs money urgently, he can't sell one bedroom. He has to borrow against the house or sell the entire property, and selling takes time. Transaction costs are expensive. Commissions, closing fees, repairs before sale, taxes, thousands can disappear in one transaction. Concentration risk matters too. His wealth is tied to one home in one market. If that area declines, so does his investment. And then there's time. Over 20 years, Daniel spent countless hours handling repairs, screening tenants, solving problems, and worrying about what might go wrong next. That cost never shows up in a spreadsheet, but it's real. Gold isn't a terrible investment. It becomes a weak strategy when it's your whole strategy. Gold works best as protection, not the entire engine. During crises, inflation spikes, recessions, or currency problems, it can shine exactly when other assets struggle. If Ryan had kept 10 to 15% in gold and invested the rest in productive assets like stocks, real estate, or bonds, he could have gained protection without giving up decades of stronger growth. Gold also wins on convenience. No tenants, no repairs, no maintenance budget, no emergency calls. You buy it and move on. For someone who values simplicity more than maximizing returns, that matters. In unstable countries or weak financial systems, gold can be more than an investment. It can be insurance. The real mistake wasn't choosing gold or property. The mistake was expecting one asset to do everything. Daniel wasn't completely wrong. Ryan wasn't completely wrong. They were wrong to rely on a single tool. Real estate can deliver leverage, income, and appreciation, but it asks for time, patience, and stress.
Gold can deliver safety, portability, and crisis protection, but it doesn't create cash flow on its own. Gold is a shield. Real estate is an engine. You don't drive a shield to work, and you don't wear an engine into battle. Use each asset for the role it was built for, and your money starts working smarter instead of harder.